Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mage, and unfortunately I will be bringing you a solo cast for this match. Magadansky just did two in a row with me. It was nice enough to give us a bunch of time, but he's going to go ahead and play in this one. So we'll start in the top right corner where we have Ostone going for the typical Fiend opening. He is normally an Orc player, but a very talented one at that. Had the second most points in FML in Season 19 and made it to the finals. Only been around a few seasons, but already dominating both the Play Free-For-All ladder and FML. Bottom right, we have the TheEnlightenedOne, who just won our previous game. Spoiler if you didn't watch that. Sorry about that. And he's playing Human in this one, so we've seen him play Orc and Undead so far. We'll see how his Human compares to those two. Bottom left, we have Magadansky. Needs no introduction to most of the free-for-all community. Our three-time FML winner. He actually took a hiatus last season, but he's back for Season 20, looking to open up with a pretty typical Fiend opening, I would guess. And then in the top left, we have Arachnophobia, who I'm not sure if he's a smurf of somebody or what exactly is going on, but looks like he's pretty much only a... he's opening up with a typical human build. And I tried to tell him to tell English, but I'm an observer, so that doesn't really help. So I'll just commentate on what they're saying. Right now it's a bunch of gobbledygook and gibberish. I can pronounce Dansker, or at least I can pretend I can pronounce it. That looks like a readable word to me. Unfortunately, multilingual is not in my resume, and there we go. Magadansky realizing that we'd really like to have some English in the stream here. So we do have a Fiend Death Knight opening here for Ostone. He looks like he may need to go ahead and build that second Ziggurat before too long. Footman, Archmage opening for the Enlightened One, Fiends, and well, do we have a Fiend or do we have Acolyte there? Yep, okay. Fiend, Death Knight for Magadansky, and that quick Archmage for Arachnophobia, opening up with Footman as well. So honestly, this could pretty much just be a 2v2 match as we see it now. I'm not sure if Arachnophobia has played this map before. This is our new map, Fountain of Manipulation, which was created by Red7z7. Red is a new admin for FML and done a fantastic job so far, and created this map, which so far has received a lot of praise. But you can tell that Arachnophobia getting a good jump on this with an early expansion right now. He should be the first one to get it up, although the Enlightened One not going to be far behind him on it. And let's see what this Null Overseer will drop. Pretty easy expansion so far, and they're Claws +6, so nothing particularly special, not a great item for the Archmage, but could be worse. And interesting that Arachnophobia only brought over 4 peasants. Usually you see the 5th one coming over for that as well. We can see that the Enlightened One going to be the second one to grab his expansion right now. Both Undead's a little bit behind in terms of creeping and expanding. Claws go to the Enlightened One as well. Magadansky starting off, Ostone starting off his creeping right now, 3 Fiends and 4 Skellies, and 2 Fiends, 3 Skellies for Magadansky, but he is going for his expansion first. We'll see if Purge goes off on any of these skeletons. It does not, so nice move there, getting the Death Knight hit by Purge instead. Ostone looking to be in a little bit of an advantage, take out the expansion first, and he has the Acolyte on the way. Uses a blight pattern there, so he can build a few ziggurats to protect the expansion should he so choose. Expansion is almost done for Arachnophobia, and he will be the first one to claim the finished expansion, it looks like. But we can see Ostone doing a nice job of going ahead, getting the expansion up while he's actually creeping it. Maga going to be the final one, but not by far, to put his expansion up. Just needs a little bit more wood for it to be completed. However, he is almost a third of the way to his tier 2 tech, while everybody else is significantly behind him, except the Enlightened One, who's almost halfway there as well. Arcane Vault going up for him as we speak. So for those of you that have not yet seen this map, it's somewhat of an interesting choice in terms of creep patterns, stuff like that. The red creeps are a little more difficult to handle, especially these marketplace creeps. They have a level 9 golem there on them. Shredder is fairly easy to get out here because there are no trappers at the Goblin Lab. However, it does have 2 minor air units, which will present not so much a challenge, but more of a lost opportunity for experience for undead players and orc players early on, unless they went Hunters, due to the inability to take it down. However, the Shredder is easily able to get away, and as we can see, humans are able to handle it fairly easily, and obviously, so are Night Elves. And almost leaves that Tome of Knowledge behind there. So we've got Enlightened One level 3, we've got Arachnophobia level 3, Maga level 2, and Ostone level 2, but going to hit level 3 as soon as this Forest Troll Warlord is done. Be interesting to see if Ostone is going to pick up the Shredder, or if he's just here for the experience. Does grab a Shredder. So let's see, that gives us the Enlightened One does not yet have a Shredder, but I'm sure he's going to be going for it. And Arachnophobia has picked one up. Magadansky not going for it quite yet, on his way to the Goblin Market. Or sorry, the Merchant, not Market. So we can see here, pretty standard merchant creeps. The two Ogre Warriors, Ogre Magi, very easy to take down, especially for an undead. More skeletons on their way out to tank this. Magadansky successfully creeping these with 3 fiends pretty much across the board on the map. You will need a little bit more to take out the red camps, but while the camps aren't overly hard to take down, they do provide an easy way to tech up that you don't have to produce massive armies, since it's a low gold map. We can see here that we have the Enlightened One up and running successfully. Magadansky about halfway done on that gold mine, does have almost all of his acolytes out and ready. Ostone does have his gold mine already up and running, and has gotten a fair bit of gold out of it. So we can see here that we start at 15,000 on the gold mines, but actually I thought were 17,500 in the previous game. Just going to go ahead and correct that error there. And we can see as we move our way in here, another fairly easy camp here, but the Murloc Nightcrawlers do go ahead and poison pretty much all over your units, so across the board you'll lose a little more HP on your units than you'd like to. Not a big deal for undead, so regenerate on Blight relatively quickly, but if you're playing a Night Elf with Archers or Human Footmen, that could pose more of a problem to you, especially as you move on. And here we go, we get the first of our red creep camps at the mines, and it's an Ogre Lord, Ogre Magi, and a couple of Trappers to go with it. Again, pretty typical creep camp here. Could use a little more challenge to it. Maybe throw in a Rock Golem for the stun factor. But nice creeps nonetheless. And we see on the bottom, Enlightened One going towards the clockwise side. So everybody moving pretty well in order with each other, so they could all get one. The only one that could be left out here a little bit is Ostone as he tries to creep jack him. Let's see if the Ogre Lord is going to go to Arachnophobia, and it does look like it will. So a little experience stolen there for Ostone, and if he's smart, he'll be able to go back down to that mine next, take it out, and he'll actually be he'll actually be a little bit ahead in terms of experience. Footman does go down there for Arachnophobia, not terribly important. Let's see what items we got here. So nothing very impressive. Scourge of Bone Chimes, which doesn't help human as much as it would our other brethren, and nothing super impressive. Robe of Magi, I'm guessing we'll give that over to the Lich. There we go. And let's see what the Enlightened One got. The Enlightened One managed to pick up Wand of Mana Stealing. So as we can see, not great drops off of the red mines here. However, the markets and the fountain in the middle both provide very good drops. And something a little interesting here is you can see there's actually a slope down into the mine in the middle, which makes it usually you have a pretty big advantage when you're fighting from a mine from a fountain, excuse me, because of the fact that it lends either mana or health to you while you're fighting that your opponent doesn't get. But while being an uphill battle for you, that kind of negates a lot of the advantage that you would get from fighting at a mine normally. So this mine not quite as valuable, and instead will be more of somewhere to go after you have healed, or after you have finished your fight. We don't have any orcs, but obviously a Troll Witch Doctor would be very valuable with a Fountain of Mana there for post-fights. And Potion of Vulnerability, actually probably the best drop we've gotten so far off of these creeps. Ostone, the first one to take his second expansion, Arachnophobia, going up at the same time. Oh, excuse me, the Enlightened One actually already has an expansion up and running in the middle there, so he is well on point here. And we can see that Magadansky's got his going up as we speak as well. And Valfort bringing up an interesting point about teching first versus going for your expansion first. He was saying it might be better to quick tech and get your expansion later on. I actually somewhat disagree. I think that gold is a rare commodity on this map, and it's going to be better for you in the end if you have the gold first. I don't think you're going to get rushed out and the tech is going to be the end of the world, but I do think that you're going to need every bit of gold that you can get here. We do have a fight going on. I'm trying to switch back and forth between the creep and the fight. Ostone's got a low DK there, going to run back, and Arachnophobia going to grab level 5, but doesn't really have anything to take down this red dragon at the moment. Obviously, he will have more of his water elementals to try and take it down, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get to it quickly enough. And we do see Ostone moving in towards the middle of the map as we speak. Gargoyles will be able to take that down relatively easily. This could be a prime creepjack opportunity for Ostone. Down here we can see that Magadansky did successfully creep the marketplace and got a Warsung battle drums out of it, so a very nice item for him on that. He's the first one to take down a marketplace, and we can see he's also very near the Enlightened One, and is Enlightened One going to get jacked here or not? Nope, Magadansky does not see him, so he'll continue to move on. Nice job scouting by Maga, and we'll go around the map here. We've got the Enlightened One having a poor wood count again, but doing very well on gold. Magadansky a little bit further behind in the gold count, but doing better in lumber. Arachnophobia actually already at 60. Looks like he may be going for 80 quickly. See if he can take somebody out here. Doing pretty well on both the lumber and gold counts, although you can see that going down. Dual blacksmithing here. Nice job on his part to make sure you get those armor levels up, since we did see early on that a lot of people were having trouble maintaining such pendant. Man, a nice good fountain drop there. They were having trouble maintaining their teching on the units because of the fact that resources are so limited and the games are pretty short in general here. And Medallion of Courage, another nice drop. Magadansky grabbing 2 of the markets. That's going to be incredibly important for him. We can see Ostone kind of in the middling group here with everything, but he is on his way for more production buildings as we speak. Going to be food capped and have to expand that pretty quickly. We can see, what did he grab here? He got a Medallion of Courage as well. So with only 1 red left, it will be the Enlightened One that's left out of the party here. But he is going up to 80, and we'll see. I bet he's going for Magadansky, although that may be trying to go for Ostone. And Ostone instead is going to actually bring the fight to the Enlightened One. So even though he's only at 50, we're not sure how well this will work out. Looks like he's doing pretty well so far, though. That staff takes away the tank kill, which would have really helped him. We'll see if he can manage to get a hero kill. If either player, honestly, can get a hero kill on either the Dreadlord here or the Archmage. Archmage is getting lower and lower. Let's see if... Nope. Going to TP out there. Nice move by Ostone to get out. And the final red camp is going to go down here momentarily to Arachnophobia. But Arachnophobia having a tougher time doing damage here since his Griffin Rider is obviously completely ineffective. Shouldn't be much of a problem to take them out though. And he does have his Archmage pulled off there since it is level 5. Nice move on his part. 5-2-1, going to be 5-3-1 after the Giant Golem goes down. Ostone is attacking the expansion of the Enlightened One, it looks like at the moment. Medallion of Courage, so very eerily similar drops all around, and Magadansky going to be able to hoard in peace right now, it looks like. So let's see. I guess this is as good a time as any to... never mind, we've got on the move. Enlightened One is going straight for Ostone. Ostone is trying to go up, get at 80. We'll see what happens first. I mean, he is going to be able to take that Town Hall out, but he's a little weak right now for facing all the tanks that he will be. Gargoyle is obviously not a great counter to tanks, and instead going to go for the expansion. Nice job predicting that by Ostone. Nice job not letting the Enlightened One get into his base, which would really be a very bad move on his part. And could we see a surround on the Archmage? Probably wouldn't be the best idea. The tanks are going to go ahead and hit the expansion. Unfortunately, only level 1 armor on the Gargoyles and Frostworms. TP going out for the Archmage, and we're going to have everything split up here. Will Ostone try to save his expansion? Does look like that's what he's going for. Expansion first, but he's going to have a lot of tanks in his main. He needs to TP ASAP. Meatwagon doing a nice job of actually blocking off some of these. That's really what you got to do when you see these tanks come in, to start building your meat wagons, but he needs to TP into his base ASAP. He needs these alkalites to be moving right now, and he could lose this Black Citadel. That is very much in the cards right now. He has no TP, so this could be the end of Ostone's base, honestly, and there's nothing he can do about it. He has to choose if he wants to try and fight the Enlightened One, or if he wants to try and protect his base. Honestly, it's a little too late to protect the base. Let's see if he can go ahead and start the tech up on another one. He does have the wood fort, but he is food locked now. And this is really going to be a massive problem for him. The Enlightened One, fortunately for him, does not have very much gold. And we can see continues to split up his army very nicely. Tech is going up for Halls of the Dead. And, oof, this is just so much damage going on to Ostone's base right now. Meanwhile, our other two players are left completely scot-free to hoard. We'll go check on their gold counts and wood counts in a moment. But even these gargoyles are getting a lot of damage done to them by the siege engine. Hopefully they have stone form so they can go ahead and prevent any from dying right now. There they go. Alright, so at least a little bit of the day is saved, but this could be pretty much the entire base. And if he loses these boneyards, that's going to be a massive blow to him. And in comes arachnophobia, so this is going to be the end of Ostone. 2v1 to absolutely the worst time. Oh, so arachnophobia is zTsoso. That explains that. zTsoso is one of our very, very good FML players. He's one of the top 10 in ladder right now, I believe, and he did very well when it came to last season. Started off in the FML farm leagues in Season 18. Season 19, he had a successful conversion in the actual Season 19. So zTsoso coming to capitalize off this. This means that there is going to be pretty much nothing left for Magadansky to do but to hit zTsoso. And I'll just alternate between calling arachnophobia and zTsoso. Hopefully you guys bear with me. Interesting choice of where he's going to TP here, trying to come in behind Magadansky's army. For those of you that listen to Magadansky's advice on how he countered human right now, he mentioned going Fiends, Frostworms, getting Single Destroyer, and a bunch of Necromancers. We can see that's exactly what he's doing right now. Unholy Frenzy obviously does quite a bit of extra damage when cast on the right things, but this is not a good fight for Maga right now. He does have the healing ward in the back there. That's nicely done. Has not been taken out yet. On the other side, it looks like there is a fight between the Enlightened One and zTsoso. Down goes that Mountain King, but it does have a revive, and the Enlightened One is actually losing to zTsoso's army, but that's mostly because of not zTsoso, Ostone's army, but mostly because of the fact that there are so many tanks there that aren't very helpful. And down goes that Mountain King. TP going out to the expansion, actually. So Magadansky here with a choice. Is he going to try and take down the base? Nicely chosen here, I think, going for the workshops. Try and freeze both of those, prevent any more tanks from coming out. See what he can do in the meantime. And he's got no more units pumping, but he is at 4,000 gold. So Maga not going to be able to finish anybody off here, but is in very good shape. We've got level 3, level 4, level 5, and if he can prevent that Mountain King from coming back out, that would really be the topping on everything. Archmage did pick up another TP, so it's not in any immediate danger of dying. And there we go, TP's out, and it is TPing to the expansion again. So the expansion just at the perfect amount of distance so that it doesn't immediately get sniped, but it is close enough it can walk back very quickly, excuse me. Once this Archmage heals back up, though, he's actually got 4 tanks and quite a few Dragonhawk Riders. He's probably going to be able to push Magadansky back and prevent Maga from completely finishing him. Just stops it before the siege engine will come out, so either incredibly skilled or incredibly lucky timing on Magadansky's part for this, and he's going to be able to... Mountain King actually not even close to coming back out. He does have the option now, does use that coral on the Frostworm, so he's out of mana on his Death Knight, but does have the Pipe of Insight. And it looks like zTsoso not even going to try and protect himself right now. He does have some Griffin Riders in the back. We'll see how many of those he can take down, but he's going to go for the base, and this is really not a good time for zTsoso to abandon his base. I think he could take Maga in a fight right now, but he's just pretty much rolling over and giving up on it. All the towers are going down very, very quickly. Obviously, magic damage doing quite a bit of work on them. Not sure why he's building another blacksmith. That seems like it's not the important thing to do right now. And yeah, that could be the end of zTsoso. So let's go around. We got Maga at 6,000, 2,071. We've got TheEnlightenedOne at 1,000, 1,067. We have Ostone at 12,000, but only 8. He does not have any ghouls in production. Does have a shredder working at least, so that's better, but not a whole lot of help. And I don't see... He does have a Alkalite at least, so that's one thing in his favor. And here we go, zTsoso coming back to defend his base. We'll see how he manages to pull this off. And shit, am I lagging? Looks like I am a bit. Sorry about that. But nice blizzard coming in on all of Magadansky's units right now. No silence and no sleep that we can see to the moment. So zTsoso, there we go, sleep does go off. zTsoso actually winning this fight. Magadansky probably needs to back off. Did have a nice use of his skeleton summoning book. And he may take down this paladin. Yes, he does take down the paladin. So he is gaining experience despite everything that's going on. Lost a couple of fiends there, but in very good shape still. Somehow, not sure how he managed to pull that off, to be honest. I really thought that Maga was going to lose that fight, but I suppose that goes to show that I shouldn't doubt Maga. So this is going to be the end of zTsoso. He's got 300 gold, is mining at 54. But yeah, not a whole lot of hope on his part. All the production buildings being taken down right now. Does have a Archmage left at least, but that's just enough to push everything up a level. And the Enlightened One is going ahead and just trying to get experience off Ostone. This may be the end of both these players if they're not careful, because Magadansky is in a very strong position right now. Ostone knowing that this is going to be a free win for Maga should that happen. Honestly, at this point, Maga probably going to roll through zTsoso. After that happens, he should move on to Ostone, take him out. Ostone coming over to help as much as he can. We'll see if the combined armies could even do anything right now. But at the same time, the Enlightened One not doing any favors to Ostone by attacking this 4-3-1. And, I mean, siege engines are a problem to deal with for sure. But at the same time, this is not going to be an easy fight when you get that Dreadlord up to level 5, you get the Lich up to level 5, and the Death Knight's level 6. Animate Dead actually going to be somewhat useful here with the Fiends, assuming they die. But yeah, so at the moment, zTsoso doing a nice job of everything he can to stay alive. It probably is not going to be viable for the long run, but you never know. And here we go. So Ostone carrying out his grudge on the Enlightened One. Can't say that's surprising whatsoever. Does have 5/4/4 heroes, so he's in pretty good shape hero-wise. And he was just about to tank Magadansky, but obviously grudges carry over throughout the game. Down goes that altar, down goes the peasant. Somewhat surprised that zTsoso hasn't decided to just go ahead and call GG and leave, but free-for-all is all about coming back as much as possible. So let's see, we've got Maga up to 7,380 so far, and Enlightened One at 1,700. He's about to get hit by Ostone, and this is just giving Maga all the time he needs to take out the expansions. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot to be said, except that, well, actually, there's just not a whole lot to be said right now. Magadansky again being in good shape. The Enlightened One coming out with a bunch of gyrocopters. We'll see how that does against Ostone's army to start with, and then how it would fare against Magadansky's army later on. Pretty much a dual suicide here, giving Maga all the time he needs. Ostone almost had regained a semblance of a normal army here. Has to do with yet another mass cropping of tanks, and this is pretty bad positioning for them as well. We're going to see the Frostworm go down almost immediately. That must... Oh, only 75 food, actually. I'm surprised that the food count is not higher for the Enlightened One, and there we go. Paladin goes down. We're going to see the Dreadlord go down. And that's about all there is to say about this, because Siege Engine's rolling through there. The Enlightened One at 1,400, 800. zTsoso continues to try to rebuild. Gotta give him A for effort on this. He's really got to hope that Ostone dies, actually, since that means the Enlightened One would be willing to team Maga 2v1, and if that does happen, maybe they stand a chance, but at this point it's really just zTsoso is hiding buildings to try and stay alive as much as possible. Does look like Maga has a shade in the middle of the Enlightened One's base, which is going to die pretty much instantaneously. But at least he's doing a nice job of scouting. I've not really noticed the scouting on the part of our other players so far. I'm not sure how aware they are, but the Enlightened One does gain some experience there. And as we mentioned earlier, Animate Dead actually pretty effective versus tanks if only they lived a little bit longer. However, now there are quite a few tanks that have absolutely nothing to do. We'll see how many Ostone can take out here. Thought he had an Inferno Stone for a moment, but obviously not the case. And rebuilding at the expansion now is zTsoso, and zTsoso rebuilding at Ostone's expansion as well. Trying to stay alive as long as possible, at least. Temporary truce between our two human players, it looks like. How often do you see two humans team an undead out? Doesn't look like either is particularly close to getting to mass TP yet, which could be a problem for Magadansky. And there we go. zTsoso loses a unit to the Enlightened One. We'll see if this creates any friction in between them. And now they're teaming out Ostone, which, honestly, smart play on zTsoso's part, but boy, I would be pissed if I was Ostone at the moment. We'll see if Ostone manages to take out any of the heroes before he dies. Hellstone is in play once Lich needs to use it, but he's not going to survive all that much longer. And there you go. Lich goes down to... Kill goes to zTsoso, so nice job on his part stealing that. Ostone saying it's a weird game. I'd have to agree with him on that. And Magadansky continuing to be just left alone here, which just completely blows my mind, to be honest. But what can you do? We'll see if the 2v1 teaming is impactful now, or if it's too late. Arachnophobia has a single expansion being built and left. And let's see, we got a shade going by here, so Maga will know where it is. And here come the tanks. So this is going to be Magadansky's true test, is how he deals with a huge army like this. Maga is at 80 food versus the 78 of the Enlightened One. And here we go. TP's right into the hero space. Honestly, not a great spot. He can move his air over the trees at least, but Maga not going to be able to do very much in this fight, I wouldn't think, except nuke down heroes. Surprising that the Frostworms are both still alive so long. And does look like the Archmage is going to go down here, so Mountain King will be next, or Paladin. Only one TP left, though, and that's on the Mountain King. And alright, Maga turned this fight quite a bit better than I thought he would. Yet again, proving that I cannot micro nearly as well, because the Enlightened One down to 58, lost pretty much all of his gyros when he was fighting, and we'll see what he's going to build here. Looks like he's just going for pure tanks at this point. This is the second to last building for zTsoso. He is rebuilding a couple up in the top right. Natural expansion that belonged to Ostone at one point. So let's see. I believe that Maga scouted that with his shade. Unfortunately, nothing particularly great at killing buildings. And no, he's moving the wrong way, so he is not aware of where that last building is. And Tome of Experience, actually somewhat helpful. Paladin does not hit level 3, though. So Magadansky playing this a little blind, unaware of where exactly zTsoso is going. And just trying to find that last one. There we go. Shade does scout this, so Magad now knows we have a peasant moving back to there and should rebuild. This is going to be interesting. I think he probably has to go ahead and try and take down these buildings. Ooh, farm here. I didn't even see. zTsoso doing his best to hide everything possible. I don't know if you're a Mega Shoes, do you try and save these expansions? It's a tough choice. He knows where zTsoso is for the most part. zTsoso is low on gold. He only has 54, so he's not going to be doing much rebuilding after this. And what is he going to pick up at the marketplace? Grabs a Gem of Health and the Staff of Silence. The advantage of having as much gold as he's been allowed to mine is that Magad's going to have a ridiculously hard army to beat. Let's both of the expansions go. We do see he has a proxy Necro on each side of his base, so he's not in any danger of being immediately tanked and dying. And their best bet right now is to try and 2v1 him at the same time. We can see that this is going to be the Town Hall going down before it can be finished. Peasant gets killed, and we shall see what the order of everything is here. This is one more farm built for zTsoso. He has a peasant left, and he's got 363, selling off his units here to continue to hide buildings. We'll see if Magad can grab that last peasant and kill him. If he can, that would be a huge coup for him, being able to take out all the units at the same time, or take out all of zTsoso's units via him not having any buildings left, but it looks like he's going to leave it with just one farm and a town hall left, so Magad on his way, going to take out the expansion of the Enlightened One, but he has to TP right now if he wants to have a chance of saving his base, because this is a lot of tanks coming in, and I'm somewhat surprised he's not going up to 100 food, to be honest. I think he's playing it a little bit cocky because he's been able to mine so much, but he has no gold mines running. He needs to start building units ASAP. On the other hand, he has done a fantastic job of microing. So far, we do see that level 5 Dreadlord. When that hits level 6, that'll be a big win for him. And the heroes are being trapped in his base for blue. We'll see TP out there by zTsoso, and now the Enlightened One left alone in his base. That's just not going to go well for him, obviously. We've got TP across the board on all of his units, so anything that dies will be purely from a blunder on his part. We got to see a TP. Nope, Mountain King does go down, so huge misstep on his part. Just gets a TP off on the Archmage. Barely in time. And this leaves all the tanks here, so that's pretty much the end of the Enlightened One's liveliness. Let's see if he can manage to use these frost worms effectively. He can slow down pretty much all three at the same time since he has 3 frost worms going, and I'm sure that he'll figure out how to use it that way. Excuse me. Nope, actually only going to slow down one at a time, then chase the others down. Fortunately, Undead does have a plethora of options considering how quick they are. Level 7 on the Death Knight, level 6 on the Lich. Lich will be helpful in taking down some of the bases. And actually a little bit of gold up here, so zTsoso going to be able to mine very slowly, but he will be able to mine a little bit. And the Enlightened One calling out that he's dead. zTsoso saying GG. We'll see which of them leaves first, but can't be more than 5 minutes left in this game, I wouldn't suspect. Still somewhat surprised that Magadansky staying at 74 food. I know that he's got this in hand, but I would like to see him bump it up to 100 just to be on the safe side. Here we go. Death and Decay does go off. Nicely placed there with hitting pretty much everything. And you can see the towers are incredibly weak at the moment. The Enlightened One calling out for a hit on Magadansky's base. That was what they needed to do combined a while ago. How many TPs do we have? TP on the Death Knight and no TP on the Dreadlord. So a single TP if they somehow miraculously killed the Death Knight. Maybe it'd be a different story. Still not looking like it's going to be anything particularly great for them. And the important thing, the Enlightened One focused on taking down the Shredder harassing him. zTsoso actually going for his base. I mean, doing the right thing here. In comes the TP. zTsoso probably going to be furious about the fact that he has no idea where the Enlightened One was at the time. The Enlightened One busy saving his expansions. Not the correct play there. really you got to be a little more focused on taking out Magadansky if possible. But yeah, as you can see, this map is a very nice creation on the part of red. Fairly balanced. We see that nobody's actually completely mined their natural expansions, but the middle do have a little less gold in them. One has been drained completely. The one that Maga had is almost done, and then we've got a couple with a miscellaneous amount of gold in them. Good amount of gold in the main mines, although TheEnlightenedOne and Magadansky did both mine through theirs. Ostone was able to die before his died completely, and we've just got TheEnlightenedOne left. He's probably got one more big fight in him or a bunch of hit and run. We'll see how Magadansky deals with this. But as you can see, clearly the winner, and most of the winners I've seen on this map so far, the max levels you're getting are around 7, 6, 6. Magadansky actually was talking about an interesting strategy of just going with the 2-hero approach, especially for Night Elf and Human. I could see 2 heroes working out okay on this map. If you could get them both to level 5 and do an early push, then that might be advantageous to you. But it is big enough and enough gold that you probably want to go with 3 in the long run, and the markets are phenomenal for stacking your heroes up with auras and stuff like that. Not a whole lot else that's going on at the moment. We are going to see... Oh, he needs to pull that Archmage back so he can actually level up on the Paladin, but it does look like he's kind of given up on doing anything productive at the moment. Is just sticking around and chilling until Magadansky finishes him off. The last expansion does go down for the Enlightened... never mind, Enlightened One actually has one more that's about to get kicked. Another hero kill goes to the Enlightened One, though. I'm sure that will be incredibly important in the long run of things. There we go. Fiend's actually playing a large role in being able to web these flying machines, but I suspect they're not going to pose too much of a problem. I really would like to see this Dreadlord go ahead and hit level 6, though, since Infernal's pretty awesome. And for those of you listening that are not aware, FML Season 20 is just around the corner. It's going to start up on Monday, but applications close on Sunday. So if you have not yet applied and like playing free-for-all, you should make sure to go ahead and do that now. The website is ffamasters.net. Again, that is ffamasters.net. Anybody is welcome to apply. We accept any and all invitations to it. We'll have qualifiers for a couple of weeks to begin with, and then we'll have the main season after that. We love having new blood in it. We're actually getting back a lot of older players as well. We've got people like Alienware Owns, Nublex is coming back, Magadansky was retired for a little while, came back, Rectify took a season off and came back. So a bunch of great older players in addition to a bunch of great newer players who've been playing on Play Free For All recently. There we go, down goes that Archmage. And I think we're up to over 45 or 46 applications already. We'll probably hit 60 by the time this is all said and done. So I encourage any of you listening to go ahead and apply now. Again, that is ffamasters.net. And it looks like we are wrapping up our game as we speak. I thought that would be just the perfect ending to it, but apparently we're going to go ahead and drag this out just a little bit longer. And for those of you listening to this on YouTube, it is currently Tuesday, November 11th when I'm saying this, so the applications will close on Sunday, the 16th of November. And Mountain King does not go down quite yet. Do see the Infernal, and there it is. GG, Magadansky pretty much dominates it through all phases of the game. As you can see, nothing particularly close on that, but good early game. Unfortunately, Ostone got taken out early on since he is an incredibly talented player. Fun overall, though. Thank you guys for watching. This is Sage, signing out, and we'll catch you all soon.